There we go.
So, as I said, this is the preview of the Overcomers Club coming soon. And I am so excited today to have with me a special guest on the Overcomers Club. Once again, this is just a pre release episode for what is to come in the coming months. And I am your host, Fire Ash. And on this show, this podcast platform, we focus on the three M's. One, we're renewing your mindset. We're help building your motivation, and we're teaching you the art of multiplication, learning how to flip what you have in your hands and multiply it and teach it to others. So with me, I have on this beautiful evening, my friend, the wonderful, the fine finance coach, Miss Mia.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ash, again for having me on. It's just been a pleasure, like I told you, watching you flourish in the name of Jesus. And, I'm just grateful to be here. So thank you so much. So, hello, everyone. I'm Mia James. I'm a financial wellness coach, and I am national/international.
Yes.
Yes. And so I was very honored. I got to meet Ashley actually abroad, but, right. So I go wherever I'm needed. And so I love traveling, but most importantly, my mission is to help women eradicate financial insecurity by understanding and organizing their finances
Yes.
and really being able to make confident financial decisions,
Yes.
because you might have a lot of money or you may be bringing in money, but maybe you don't know what to do with it. Right.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
so I love to help women make their money, go out and make friends, because we're communal. So we like
Hmm.
to be in community.
Yep.
And I've been a financial educator for over 15 years. It's been such a blessing, as well as, matching people with financial services for the last 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, when we first met, like you, first of all, you seem like this awesome chick, and I was like, I want to be her friend. Like she just seems so cool. I remember you had on, I think, was it a pink swimsuit or a red swimsuit?
Hmm.
I can't
Oh,
remember. I just know you looked so cute. Like your fashion
aw.
was so nice, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like who is this lady? And then you were so nice. You and your friend Keisha, you guys were just so nice. And then when we started talking about, I think we were talking about a book that you read about, was it Managing or Millionaire? Can't remember.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Rachel Rogers' book.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hmm.
And so you talked about this, and meeting you actually changed my entire perspective on like finances and money, because I think I had this mindset that I could only do so much as what I had already been doing. Like I thought that I had to work a full-time job and just I would say survive, instead of living like a flourishing life where, traveling is something that is inside of, my lifestyle. Just seeing and hearing about all the trips that you went on, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a life that I could live. Yeah. So you
Yep.
definitely inspire me. And that's why I wanted to bring you on here, because I believe a lot of the tools that you taught me and that I continue to learn, even from just stalking your page.
Aw.
A lot of the tools that I've learned from you, I believe that other people could benefit from it. Especially how you coached me on learning how to strategize and be able to quit my job. A lot of people think I just quit. No, I had a friend, a coach in the background teaching me what do I need to do to prepare for this transition, and then what are steps that I can do to help with the transition.
Amen. Amen. Because, this is the thing. So I always tell people, this is something I didn't mention, but I quit my job at 40. That was my
Hmm.
40th birthday gift to myself.
Oh wow.
And I love helping people like yourself who are ambitious. You have a passion, you have a mission to help others, to be able to live that life and
Hmm.
not do it haphazardly. Because a lot
Yeah.
of people just be like, oh, well, the Lord gave me this vision, I'm about to quit.
Yes. Hmm.
And I'm like, well, let's not, the Lord may not be telling you to do it without a plan. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so have a plan. So that's, what you and I discussed, is having a plan in place. I had a master plan in place before I quit, and I made sure,
Yeah.
I had an emergency fund. I made sure my business was bringing in a certain amount of revenue.
Yeah.
And there is a way to do it where you can do it easily. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's easy, but I'm saying easily.
Yeah. See, and something I think if I could do it all over, I I realized how much time I wasted. Like when I was at the job, I was working for the job, but I was also wasting time that could have been put into building the structure with the business. Like
Hmm.
where with me leaving, I had to learn how to fly a plane that I was building at the same time. And so if I
Yeah.
were to give advice to anybody now, it would be like, no, you might want to stay there for just a little bit and figure out just the foundation of what systems are you building, and then actually make sure your business is bringing in revenue, not just bringing in a little bit of money, but like, is it sustainable for you being able to continue to profit? When I say, Coach Mia, you got me going, and now I'm just like, it was so much that I didn't realize I needed to know as a business owner. And so the fact that you teach this, and then I love something you said about yourself. You teach women to have confidence, because I didn't have confidence. I had a lot of fear. I had just a lot of insecurity when it came to money. So my first question for you is, with the people that come to you, do you often find them feeling these feelings of shame? And if they do, what is it that you tell them?
Wow, that's a great question. Um, I do see a lot of people that do have feelings of shame, embarrassment around making bad decisions with their money,
Yeah,
not being where they think they need to be at a
yeah,
certain age or stage in their life.
hmm,
Um, but the thing is, like I always tell people to give themselves grace, right?
yes,
Because
hmm,
number one, we don't have financial literacy in school. Like most
yes,
most people don't. I
yeah,
mean, maybe like one out of every 1,000 people that I meet has some type of financial literacy, but like nothing norm.
yeah,
Two, you're not learning it at home because if
yep,
you learned it, maybe you'll be making different decisions.
yeah,
And then, you know, a lot of people don't like numbers or math, right? Like
yeah,
they're just like, this is overwhelming. I don't know where to
hmm,
start.
hmm,
So, what I tell people is like, number one, we're all human, right?
yeah,
Everybody makes mistakes in various ways. But what I tell them is that now you get to decide if you want to do something different
yes,
and get some help. Like
yeah,
if it's not your area of strength, if it hasn't been working for you so far, go get you
yeah,
some help.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what I had to do. That's literally why I came to you, because I had no idea what I was doing, and also uh math. Just so like numbers, they make my head hurt. And as a business owner, you need to get comfortable with some math. And I like something else that you had said just a few seconds ago. You were saying the Lord told you to quit your job, but did he tell you to do it without strategy? Something someone had told me before I quit is, they said, if the Lord is impressing it on you to quit, I don't want to persuade you not to follow that, but also there's a way to do things with wisdom. And throughout my journey of leaving a full-time job, a beautiful steady check, Jesus, beautiful steady check, RIP, we just gonna sit there for a sec. But leaving that steady check, I literally had to adopt, like, you have to be on it, Ashley. I can't just like let life pass by, because me doing that will allow a lot of stuff to pile up. It just adds too much. So I had to learn how to strategize and how to actually see what it takes to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coining a term that I'm saying, who knows, somebody probably said it before, but teaching people how not to just hustle, but how to actually walk in authority and ownership. And before I can teach that, it was like God was like, well, baby girl, I need you to learn how not to just hustle and just make some money and just have cash flow. Like, what do you do when you have the money coming in? How do you steward it? And I'm not gonna put my business out there at the beginning of this episode because I was a bad steward. But I just love that you empower people, especially women, to be able to take these things on and do it confidently. I also want to know, like, what even led you to get into finances?
Well, okay, I want to answer your question, but then there was something that you said that made me think
Okay.
about my value-based spending. So like the
Mm-hmm.
stewardship part,
Uh-huh.
that is critical. And I'll say this before I answer.
Okay.
A lot of us might be spenders, right? And spending is not necessarily bad. It's just about
Mm-hmm.
what you spend on.
Yeah.
And so in terms of stewardship, what I did, I created a value-based spending ladder. So
Mm.
obviously at the top of the ladder is tithing, right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
the next thing is philanthropy. So and then investing is on there. So things of that nature.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I recommend for everyone to do is when you are spending, one, spend out of your values, and two,
Mm.
think about it, how is this going to benefit you in the future?
Yes.
So that's something I wanted to say about what you just mentioned in terms of stewardship. But how did I get into finance? Well, let's see. I started my first business in seventh grade. I have
Wow.
always,
You have always
yeah,
been an entrepreneur. You were destined for
yeah,
this.
yeah. Like my dad raised my sister and I to be entrepreneurs. My dad was, I mean, I think he had a job when I was like real young, but like
Hmm.
we're terrible employees, okay? Like
Yeah.
not in a sense of like we don't do good work. We're great.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
but like we need to be entrepreneurs because we want to be in charge. We
Most
want
definitely.
to, you know. So I always my dad will always say, you know, if you know when you get married, somebody got to have a job and somebody got to have a hustle, because
Mm.
basically the losses from your business can help reduce the tax liability on a person that has a W-2.
Mm.
So I learned that early on in life, right?
Hmm.
One person has a business, one person has a regular job. So I have always been fascinated with making money because that's just all I ever heard. And I just like to see, how does money work? Like, can I make my money
Yeah.
make money? So I
Yeah.
started investing at 16.
Wow.
I just am very fascinated with just like making the money. Like I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, if I do this, I can get that. I'm like, can I
Yes.
do this with the money? Like it's, to me, it's like
Yes.
a game. Like
Yeah.
it's not a game, but it's
Yeah.
fun to me
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it.
It's the fact that at 16 you were like, I want to see if I can make my money make money. Like that, for me, that is so cool because I was thinking nothing about money, about only about how to spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But something that you made me think of as far as like making my money make money. And just I guess I want to know for you, what does that look like when you're trying to explain to somebody you want to make your money make money?
Okay. So there is multiple ways I'm going to talk about that. First and foremost, you got to have some type of income.
Yeah.
Now, income is not what people think for the most part. Most people think their paycheck is income. Actually, it's not.
Mm.
That's actually any money you get from your business or from your paycheck is actually revenue.
Mm.
After you subtract your expenses, that is your income.
Mm.
So some
Good.
people don't have income because if they
Mm.
all their money goes on expenses, well, you don't have any
You
income.
don't have any income. That's good. Yeah.
So guess what? How are you going to invest?
Yeah.
How are you going to do anything that could possibly make you money if you don't have any income? So
Yes.
that's number one. First of all, I got to make sure you got some income. Then number two, I need to make sure that you are properly protected. So the other thing that people don't realize, a lot of people is just out here living wild, Ashley. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, like they don't have no type of protection. So for example, what I mean is most people don't have paycheck protection. Most people don't even know what that is. They're like, what? You can protect your paycheck? Yes. But when I tell them what it is, they're like, oh, that's okay. It's never going to happen to me. Well, it did happen to one of my
Whew.
clients. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
they are basically, they drained all of their assets because they did
Mm.
not have any paycheck protection.
What is
Because
paycheck protection?
it's basically disability insurance.
Mm. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't know that disability insurance was paycheck protection. Okay.
Yeah, because if you become disabled and you can't work, for example, or
Yeah.
if you become pregnant, you can actually use it in some cases.
Mm.
You can get up to 60% of your income while you're out from work, or
Mm.
even as a business owner. If let's just say you have employees and you have business overhead costs, like the
Yeah.
systems that you run,
Right. Mm.
you can have business overhead expense. So if you go on maternity leave, or if you become disabled or hurt or something like that, and you're temporarily not able to work,
Yeah.
then you can have money coming in to pay those costs so your business doesn't go under.
Wow.
So I first of all, I need to make sure you're protected,
Yeah.
against loss of income, against premature death. And then I'll say, okay, what is your risk tolerance?
Mm.
And because some people are afraid to invest, like say in the stock market, for
Yeah,
example.
right.
Or some people think it's gambling. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And some people do gamble with it, but it's not gambling.
Yeah.
And then we go from there.
Yeah.
So you have to have some things in place, but my biggest thing is to start so you can take advantage of, compound interest.
Let me tell you something. God is so good because I have you, and then God blessed me with another person who's teaching me finances as well. And it's so funny because I reference you in our conversation a lot. I'm like, oh, my financial coach told me this, but he's been talking to me a lot about compound interest. And I didn't realize he was telling me, like, Ashley, first of all, you're leaving so much money on the table. Second of all, he told me in one of our sessions is that if you have $5, pretty much like if you have $5 today, you could use that $5, put it in an investment, and allow that $5 to grow over time. But he something he said to me that I agree with is that a lot of people hide behind the excuse, well, let me get my finances together, or I'm a start later, like let me get things together. And something he
Yep.
cleared up for me is no, start now, because he showed me that time is, if we use it properly, is on our side. Girl, you see, I've been in class, I've been taking notes.
Well done, thy good and faithful servant. But the Bible talks about this. There's more
That's what I want to talk to you about. Hearing your
in the
perspective on the
Bible.
Bible. Yes, go.
Yes, there's more verses in the Bible on money than it is on prayer. People don't even realize that, because Jesus and God, they already knew that
Yes.
people were going to struggle with money. Look at
Yes.
the parable of the talents. The person who did not invest the money lost the money. And what? You know what I'm saying? It's getting dark in here.
Look, that is the reason why I was like, I gotta take my finances serious, because God had me study on that parable for almost like 2 weeks, and he was like, I need you to understand that you have to.
Yep. I'm trying to get some light going in here. But yes, and the other thing too is that Deuteronomy 8:18 says the blessing of the Lord makes one rich and adds no sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like, I heard this thing about like prosperity ministries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it used to be like this taboo thing. But for me, I had this really great Bible study teacher, and he went through almost all the verses in the Bible on money. And the thing is, we're blessed to be a blessing, right?
Yeah.
And so if we steward, and what you said in the beginning, if we steward our money right, that God has entrusted to us,
yes,
we can actually expand the kingdom, right? But the thing about finances in the kingdom of God, to me, are parallel in the sense of like, Jesus was not accepted in his own hometown. Yeah. When I'm coming in and talking to people about money, a lot of times people don't accept what I have to say.
Yes.
But you are the one who is going to suffer because you don't have your money right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to suffer if you don't listen.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, you have to use wisdom and discernment, right? Understand it might be something that you're not familiar with, but go and do your homework, do research. God will tell you if somebody is, trying to cheat you or something. But
wisdom and discernment. And okay, so the reason I wanted to ask you about your perspective as it relates to the Bible is because I've been hearing things from people for so long when it comes to the church, but also like I posted a video recently that said God did not call us to be broke. Oh my goodness, that was such a controversial video, because like the comments that I was getting, it was like people were saying, but you can't serve money. My point was not that we're serving money, but God gave me a revelation on how to utilize money. God was telling me money is not a source, it's a resource. I'm the source, but it's a resource to advance, as you said, advance the kingdom of God. And I mentioned, he gave me a scenario. He said, when it comes to the charities or people that are submitting money to the hospital, like when we're giving money to or donors giving a big lump sum of money, nobody's complaining about that. Nobody's checking their pockets like, why are they giving? There are praising it. So the thing is, why is it that we praise them for that, but we in the church, even the church cannot operate without some form of money coming in? We're tithing to the building of the church's building, the operation. And the more that we build into the church with this money, the more we can grow the kingdom and the bigger our impact can get. And girl, when I say God was breaking it down to me, and another thing that he was showing me is how strategic God is. When he says that we perish because of a lack of knowledge, it's because we lazy and we don't want to understand or go search for answers. He tells us in the Bible, seek and ye shall find. And so for me, like, God showed me what it was like to be at rock bottom. I'm gonna just be honest, like at rock bottom, like, God, what's going on here? And he told me, I need you to start studying. I need you to start learning. I need you to start seeking. And the more that I started studying, learning, and seeking information, he was giving me wisdom, but also he was giving me strategy. And he reminded me of how when Noah, with the children of Israel, I'll go with Noah as an example. With Noah, he gave him in-depth instruction on how to build the boat, to how to build the ark. Like, he gave him in-depth instruction. So why wouldn't he give us instruction for the vision that he gives us?
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you just preached the whole word. I definitely got to put this on my YouTube, because exactly what you said, underline, highlight. We're blessed to be a blessing, right? And if we as Christians, we're supposed to set the standard for the world.
Yes.
If we're broke, you can't give something that you don't have. So for me, like, oh my gosh, my Bible study teacher, this was many years ago, over 10 years ago, he taught a whole series called Destroying or Attacking the Poverty Mentality. And to me, that mentality, that poverty mentality, was put on specifically the Black church, because the powers that be knew that if we understood the economic power that we have as a people, that we will be a force to be reckoned with. And I think it's strategic for us not to have this financial information. Because if you go back to situations like Black Wall Street that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and many other thriving African American communities, like around commerce, I should say, we have come so far away from that. And I know people are trying to get back to it today, but the Bible tells you to leave an inheritance for your children's children and your children's children after them. But if you don't have, people got to do a fish fry, a GoFundMe, or this, that, and the third. Just
exactly.
What inheritance are you leaving for your children? I'm like, y'all are not being biblical. So when people try to come for me, I'll be like, I used to teach in a Bible school, so don't do that. But you could try it if you want to. But I was like, I'm just going to show you what the word says. And I'll let the Lord minister to you around that, because we are doing ourselves a disservice. We're doing the king. Well, we're doing the kingdom. Forget us.
A kingdom.
A disservice. You know what I mean?
And
so when I close my eyes, I want God to say, well done, that good and faithful servant. Because I've poured it out. I've given everything I can. I've taught people. I left something for my niece and nephews. And you know, the kingdom has expanded because of me being a good steward over what he's entrusted to me.
And even with that word, good steward, like when I say that has been my word of the year, because when God made me realize that every single thing that I have is not mine, it's his. I don't know why this is such a simple concept, but I did not get it. Every single thing, from my body to my house to my finances, everything that I have is not mine, it's his. He's just allowing me to be a manager of it. And I said on another podcast episode with a friend, I said, God gave me the revelation that in Genesis 20, it was chapter 1, verse 26 to 28, that he told us exactly what we were supposed to do, not just be fruitful and multiply, but he said to have dominion over the earth. And when I read that for the 18,000th time, I was like, oh my goodness, he told us that we were supposed to be rulers. And as you said, I'm supposed to set the standard. And I watched a video by, I think, Dr. Miles Monroe, and he was talking about how we're watching the wicked do what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be the influencers, and they follow our influence. But They're leading. Why are we not leading in these positions? Just so many things that I've been learning.
Well, okay. So the church has been asleep to me.
Yeah.
Me. Like, you know how everybody's talking about they're woke.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The church has been asleep because I'm like, like you said earlier, money is a tool, it's a resource.
Yeah.
And I know the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, but that has to do with idolatry, like
exactly
putting money before everything else, putting money before God, putting money before family, doing this, that, and the third. But money as a tool, so I have it's just a piece of paper in my hand. If I'm a giver, the more money I have, the more money I'm going to give.
Right.
If I'm stingy, if my character and my nature is stingy, the more money I have, I'm still gonna be stingy.
Right.
So at the end of the day, our money takes on the characteristic of who we are.
That's what yes, ma'am. Please say that. Yes.
So and we also have to be renewed. My verse for this year is Romans 12:2. It says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of, I didn't. Let me talk about me. I can't talk about others. I don't know what people think. I finally have my mind renewed starting in 2024 until now. Understanding that God is my source and my supply.
Yes.
Not my job.
Thank you.
Not my business. Not me. Not my husband. Not my mama. Not my daddy.
Thank you.
It's God. He supplies all my need according to His glory and riches in Christ Jesus. So, but I have to believe that, because without faith, it's impossible to please God.
Come on.
So if we don't have faith, and I'm speaking about me. Let me talk about me. I did not
talk
have
about
faith.
You talk about you. Yeah.
I'm talking about me.
Yes.
I did not understand until last year that I did not have faith.
Me either.
Because
we're on the same page.
I was dependent on me to work, to provide, versus allowing God to do what He's created to do. I am just a co-creator with God. That's it. I'm a co-creator. So like, if God, He does a download, He's like, okay, go do this in the earth. I'm supposed to be obedient. I'm supposed to go do it. He will supply, because anybody He calls, He's going to equip.
Exactly.
And then here we go.
So you said, okay, so one thing that I agree with you heavily on is like, money shows you your character. And that's another thing He showed me. It's literally a reflection. It's a mirror of you. And I'm gonna say this, and it might hurt some people's feelings, but it hurt mine when I realized it. How you handle money shows how you steward, how it shows what your stewardship is like. So if you're broke, it's showing a lack of self-control. It's showing a lack of self-discipline. God was showing me how the fruit of the Spirit, it really is detailing and aligning with this principle of coming out of this broke mind. And I said on my last podcast video, my friend, I said that God called us to be poor in spirit, but He didn't call us to be broke in this world. He called us to live in abundance. Why would He take the children of Israel to a land flowing with milk and honey? That land, they couldn't be broke entering into that. And another thing that you said is that God is my source. You had to learn that. When I say, sis, if that's not my testimony from 2024, at the end of 2024, not the beginning, because I thought that I had faith. I did. I might have had a mustard seed. It was an inkling. But I didn't have faith until I really had to see God as my ultimate source. And something that God did for me is in the book of 1 Kings, I think it's chapter 16 through 18. It talks about Elijah, and it talks about how God fed Elijah with the ravens, and He fed him day by day. Like He fed him twice a day. And so God used that portion of the Bible to show me every single day. It was a point where I didn't have much at all. And every single day He gave me some food. He made sure I was taken care of it was 1 week where I just didn't have no food. I just didn't have. And every single day of that week, I remember One of my friends came over, brought me some food. The next day, somebody took me to get something. I never opened my mouth. But each day, then the next day, somebody offered to get me groceries. And I was just like, and so recently I was God had to humble me. So a part of my advancement is understanding that with advancement, you have to be humility. You have to be humble, not humility. You have to be humble, because it says that pride goes before destruction. And he also tells us that he will exalt the humble. And so with my elevation that's happening, I had to first die to myself. And what did that look like? Girl, I remember one day I was just like, I was stressed out because I was like, man, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to figure all this out. I got to carry this on my back. Like, it ain't going to get done if I don't do it. I remember I said all of this out of my mouth. And then that same day I was crying to God. And I said, Lord, I can't carry this. I'm going to cast my cares and I'm going to get this off of me because I can't carry this. And in that moment, he was showing me, Ashley, you have this perspective that you finna do all this stuff. You're not. No, nope. Like you said, I'm a co-creator. I'm really just a part of him giving birth. I'm the body. I'm like Mary, like I'm the body that he can use to have his purpose come through me. But just as Mary had to be obedient to Jesus's assignment, she could not dictate what he did. She had to follow the command of his alpha, which was her father and his father. And so that's what God has been teaching me. Like, you have to submit to my authority in all capacities and understand if I say it, it's done. I can change your situation in the matter it is. But I also understand that sometimes God does not answer our, I want to word this correctly. Sometimes God will withhold the answer to our prayer because we're not ready to experience it. God is so strategic. He will put you in a position to be good for management, because when it comes, how will you manage it? If he were to give me, I say this all the time, if he gave me $1 million today, how well am I going to manage it? I confessed to somebody, I said, man, I'll blow that up. Not even trying to. I just blow it because I didn't know.
No, you won't call me.
I am.
You will call me.
The old Ashley will blow it, but she will blow it. But like now that I'm learning, thank God for you, because now that I'm learning how to be a good steward and the seeds that you planted in me are starting to blossom, it's like, okay, God, when you give, I kid you not, when God gives me just a little bit, I be like, oh, I'm gonna handle that. I'm gonna take care of that. Let's make sure that this is not just coming in, but how, as you said, how can my money make money?
Exactly. I mean, wow, you said so many different things. Where do I even start? I don't even know where to start. This journey that I've been on with my wealth coach really has been more of a spiritual journey than the money part.
Same.
Because I'm not gonna lie, let's talk about feast and famine, okay? And I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about, because when you are self-employed, sometimes you feasting and sometimes you have a famine.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. Well, you be like, Lord, I'm going to need you to take the wheel. I'm going to just put it to you like this. I was like, oh, God, thank you for my husband. Because last year, if I would have been as independent, single, he would have had to take the wheel. So last year was definitely quite humbling, quite faith building for me.
Yeah.
But you know how I know that I've up leveled as a Christian is because I just said, thank you, God. Like I wasn't normally, if I go through a trial, especially when it comes to my money, I'm just being transparent here. If I go through a trial with my money, because I am very used to always having money.
Me too.
Always. Like ever since I was a kid, I always had money. So I don't know.
I always had money.
I'm like, and I'm not trying to, but I just, it's just, I don't know. It is what it is. God has blessed me in that way. So when things started to dry up, I said, oh, what are we doing? What is this? I'm like, what is this? And it's still going. Like we still doing this. Like, I'm like, thank God I got a husband, because I was like, I wouldn't be able to eat or nothing. I'd be like, ooh. And so anyway, but what that does for what it did for me was,
Mhm.
one, again, it increased my faith, and two, it humbled me, and three, it gave me a deeper level of empathy and compassion for my
Yes.
clients.
Yeah.
And so when we go through things, if we decide to become aware
Yes.
of why we're going through what we're going through, it can take you to a whole nother level. Because I had never really like experienced financial hardship before. So I'm helping people with through financial hardships, but it's different when you've experienced it and you're on the other side and you can help somebody from that
Oh my
standpoint.
gosh.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm probably almost out the tunnel. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm
Stay
a
tuned.
I'm a piggyback with that because that's why I said like after quitting the job, I got real humble because I'm a transparent person. I tell people the real. I went through the famine. I was in the wilderness and I was like, Lord, just give me enough manna for the day. Just for the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, I mean, make something impossible out of the rock. Give me some kind of water, some. And like literally, I remember God telling me before I quit my job, He was telling me, He'd be warning me about stuff, but I don't think I'd be understanding it until I'm in the situation. Because He said, Ashley, you're going to have to feel this one. And He also let me know that before I can teach my audience, I got to experience exactly what they're experiencing. And so the fact I'm a single woman, guys. I'm single. I am a single woman with a dog and he ain't got no job. And so so I literally experienced what I would call like a famine. And I'm so accustomed to always having money. I'm so accustomed to everything is always paid, and it's typically always paid on time or a little bit early. Like I'm very accustomed to just steadiness. That's what I'm accustomed to. So when I had a moment where I was getting behind and I was experiencing literally financial hardship, the business was slow, and I'm like, where my clients at? Everybody was out booked and busy. At the end of the year, like in January was the hardest month for me because it was just slow. It was literally just, I was just like, God, I can't make the clients up. Where they at? But I thank Him because what He was teaching me, one, was how to be dependent on Him. And two, He was showing me like what it looks like to have enduring faith and enduring patience. Something I learned about patience is that patience is active. It's not something that's passive. You have to endure with patience. You have to persevere with patience. These words co-align with patience. And so as I was enduring, God was also giving me strategy. He was starting to show me what I call the art of multiplication. It's not just about teaching the next person how to do. So my 3 M's, one of them is the art of multiplication. And so the primary objective is you learn what you learn so that you can teach somebody else and you can spread that wealth, that knowledge. But at the same time, the twofold of it is what you have in your hands is just enough to flip and multiply it into something. And so God was telling me, like, Ashley, I've given you gifts, I've given you knowledge, I've given you so much. To me, I started to view wealth as knowledge. Like, to me, knowledge is the power. If you have the knowledge, the money that comes with it, you'll be able to steward it. And so God was telling me, I've given you the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, now you need the application to apply what I've given you. And those two combinations, I kid you not, Mia, that's actually what started changing things around. Like I was in the slow season, but now I'm starting to see things pick up because I just been listening to them and that enduring.
Yeah. But you said something so important. Remember, faith without works is dead. So you can have if you don't have the knowledge and you don't implement it,
Yeah.
knowledge without implementation,
Yeah.
knowledge with implementation is power.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, you have to be able to endure because we will go through trials. The Bible tells us that, but it's all about your attitude and your faith. Like, how are you while you wait? How are you while you go through the trial and the challenge? And me, I just, I actually improved my gratitude practice.
Yes.
Like, just finding things to be thankful for. And like, I mean, it's only the beginning of March, and like I did a mind movie. So instead of doing a vision board, well, I have vision boards too, but I did a
Mm-hmm.
mind movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind movie, like so many things have already manifested. Like because I've just been like, thank you, God. This has happened. That has happened. Like,
Yes.
um, and I'm, you know, it's a journey and a process, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
allowing God to do the work.
Yeah.
And also I listened to I was gonna tell. So I listened to Dr. Boyce Watkins. I don't know if you listen to him, but
I don't
he's
think
a
so.
PhD.
Mm-hmm.
He has a PhD in finance, and he does a money millionaire training every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And he
Tell me
talks
about this
about you.
man down. This man
Yeah,
name down.
you. Yeah, right. Yes, it's if you text here, I'm gonna tell you. Text the word morning to 87948.
Let me do that as we speak. Okay.
Yes, listen to him every morning. He does economic consciousness trainings every single day
What's the
for the
number
most part.
again?
87948 and text the word morning.
It's the fact that you knew by heart this number.
Listen, I love. Okay, so he is very much like he's gonna talk to you about what's going on in the world from an economic and finance perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a point though. It was something that you said that reminded me of something that he said
Mm-hmm.
because he's very much about wealth elevation, especially in the Black community.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, we don't have an excuse. So he has something called the Black Business School, and he has different
Mm-hmm.
courses on different with experts in real estate, experts in estate planning,
Mm-hmm.
experts in crypto, all kind of
Yeah.
people on his platform.
Yeah.
Because we don't. Oh, I know what you said when you say, you know, we're lazy, right? We're not doing the research.
Yeah.
If we are to be the best that we can be, we always have to be learning. We always have to be
Yes.
improving,
Yeah.
and we don't have any excuse anymore. You
Yep.
know, we got everything that's literally at our fingertips. We can open our phone, we can open our laptops, and we can go and get the knowledge. So the
Right.
thing is, do we really want it? Do we want to get out of
Right.
poverty? Right?
Yeah.
Do we want to get out of just make it in and surviving?
Yes.
Because I don't know about you, but I was like, I was created to do more than just survive. I was like,
Thank you very
I
much.
am wealth. Look,
Thank you very
I tell
much.
myself every day, I'm wealth. I'm
Yep.
wealth. I be telling my husband, I be like, babe, we are wealth. I don't know why you be over here asking.
When people ask me how you doing, I just start changing my answer. I'm very wealthy today. Thank you very much. I'm what like
Right.
literally. Keep going.
Because wealth is more than money.
Yes.
That's the other thing.
Yes.
Dr. Watkins always talks about number one, your family. That's
Mm.
having a strong relationships with your family. That's
Mm.
wealthy because so many
Mm.
people, if they work together as a family unit, like other communities,
Yeah.
they would be so much further along. Like I have some friends from Tennessee. They're building a family compound.
Mm-hmm.
My in-laws, they have a family compound where they can
Mm-hmm.
all come. You always have a place to live, and
Yeah.
you're building equity together.
Yeah.
And so, if we can get back to that communal mindset, which our
Mm.
ancestors create, you know, had back
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
Africa, and
Yeah.
we have family compounds, that's how we build wealth and equity.
Mm.
So he talks about family. He talks about mental health because his wife is also a doctor of social work, and
Oh
she's a therapist.
wow. Mm-hmm.
And then because if this is not right, which is Romans
Yes.
12:2,
Come on.
this, you know what I'm saying? If your mind ain't right, your money not right, a whole lot
Yeah.
of things, your body, your health is not right. And you
Right.
can have all the money in the world, but if your body and your mind are not right, you can't even enjoy the fruits
Right.
of your labor anyway.
Right.
So yeah, wealth is way more than money. Like the fact that I don't have to clock in. I live in New York. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Houston, Texas right now. I don't work in the morning. So you know what I did this morning? I had
What?
coffee with one friend, and then after that I had breakfast with another friend. And then I started working when
So
I felt like it.
okay, so what? Okay, so what is your? I would say, what is your time frame that you like working from?
Typically, if I'm, home, I start working at 11. But today, what time did I start working today? My first appointment was at 1, I think, or 2,
Mm-hmm.
2,
Mm-hmm.
2 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna work from 2 to 10. That's 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually less than that because I took a couple breaks.
I think that was like one of the benefits for me was being able to change the time frames that I work because
Mhm.
sometimes I'm a night owl. Like
Me
I think
too.
it's when it's dark, even if it's not super late at night, if it's super early in the morning, whenever it's like super quiet and everybody's pretty much asleep, that's when my brain is like, let's get to work, let's do work.
Yeah.
And like when I worked at my old job, I did find myself, I would work that job and I kind of be bored throughout my shift. But
Mhm.
then later on that day, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to, like, when it's something I care about, I can't stop thinking about it. And I was telling somebody today, I was like, yeah, I think I'm semi obsessive when it comes to work. And I'm trying to find this healthy balance where sometimes I can give myself a break. And then other times, and a conversation that came out of that was learning that rest God's way is a form of humility. And this is what I was telling him. I was like, I didn't realize that I was still being
Mhm.
arrogant, trying to stay up. When we have the culture that teaches you don't sleep, but that's
Yeah.
ungodly because
It
if I
is.
don't sleep, I won't fully function correctly. And God told me to rest. He literally gave me a whole day, give me a Sabbath to be able to rest. And I had to like humble myself, like, who am I to think I don't need a day of rest? I do.
Let me tell you what, I am a Sabbath participant. I missed my Sabbath this week and I'm feeling it because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with my mom. No, I
Mhm.
needed to be laying myself down in that bed. Even though I
Yes.
wasn't doing any work,
Yeah.
I still needed to be laying down. And I grew up participating in the Sabbath. Like we
Mhm.
literally did not even watch TV from Friday night to Saturday night growing up.
Oh wow.
Like I had never seen a Saturday morning cartoon in my life. I'll
Oh
put it to you like
wow.
that. Never. So, but I thought it was boring. But now, as a business owner and
Mhm.
as an adult, baby, listen, I don't play with my Sabbath. I do not play with it. And the other thing too is that this culture in the United States has it backwards. Okay, first of all, I'm not gonna go down that path.
Mhm.
But there, I love my marketing coach. He talks about working from rest versus resting from work.
Mm.
And so that's how I started doing that since 2018. And I rest and then I'm way more productive after I rest than if I had pushed through tired trying to do something and my mind is cloudy.
Yep.
So for me, rest is a non-negotiable. Like I
Yeah.
schedule it. It's on my calendar. And I told my friend today, I usually do meet with some accountability partners. And I was like, I'm just gonna be getting back from a 12-day trip and I probably am not going to want to look at a screen.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably not gonna be able to meet. I was like, I know myself and I love
Yeah.
them. Like,
Yeah.
but I have been going almost for 12 days straight, and
Yeah.
that's not healthy.
Yeah. And that's what happened to me this past week. I have been going, I think I have been working literally every single day for the last 2 weeks. And on Monday, I know when my body, obviously our bodies tell us when we need to take a break. And I had a
Mm.
migraine. I had a migraine for almost 3 days straight. It was like on and off.
Oh,
It was like I woke up and it was there, and it was like one side of my head was just pulsing. And then I would go throughout the day and I could kind of, it was like I could kind of like ignore it. But then as soon as I laid down again, it was like, oh my goodness. And on Monday, I was like, okay, God. No, wait, no, Monday I was moving around. I was supposed to relax. That was supposed to be my day off. But I was supposed to be relaxing and I kept moving. And when I got home, my migraine was like, we're still here. So on Tuesday, I just slept. I don't even know what
mhm.
time the alarm clock went off because I didn't hear it because I slept. And I slept probably half of the day. And that's when I had to get away from this guilt, like that if I'm not working, that I'm not being productive with my life. And that's where I had to realize, like, no, God is taking care of me. But if I'm not well rested, because literally after I got that rest, that next morning, I was ready to go.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's right. And that's the thing. Like God, if we think, and I'm guilty. Okay, I'm a recovering overcommitter.
Me
If
too.
so I'm
Yeah.
like, I had to be able to trust God that.
Oh no.
Let's see, can I come back in? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That the world is not gonna fall apart just
Yes.
because I'm resting. And
Exactly.
God got this. Like He is the God of the
Thank
universe.
you.
Like,
Thank
who do
you.
I think I am that
Yeah.
if I take a break, that the
Yes.
world is gonna fall apart? Like,
Yeah.
it's not that deep.
And that's what I was talking to when I was having a meeting earlier. I was talking to a director friend, and he was literally saying he needed to get some rest, and he was like, he had to realize, who am I to think the world is gonna stop because I need to take a break.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you ever have time, check out this book called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. It's
Hmm.
life changing. So I read that book maybe 2012, 2013, something like that. I still reference it. And it's a pastor out in Queens, his church, and his wife. They have one called the Emotionally Healthy Spirituality for Women as well.
Hmm.
And I had the privilege of learning it from the authors.
Oh wow.
And it was so life changing, and that's what sparked me. Like, their whole church takes a Sabbath. They are evangelical Christians.
Hmm.
um and I think, basically being under their study and reconnecting
Yeah.
with rest, because, like, a lot of people, like, I don't like to use the word busy. So, my business is called Beyond
Yeah.
Busyness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when people are like, "Oh, Mia, you're busy," I was like, no, I am intentionally scheduled.
Mm.
And just because I'm not available doesn't mean that I'm doing something. I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being, because I might be resting, like, but I'm not available when I'm resting.
Mm.
So, you know,
So remember, you remember my grandmother, right?
I love her. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So she taught me so much. And one thing she told me was, well, actually, I'm gonna say two things. One thing I needed to learn, that if it's on the calendar, it'll happen. But if it's not on the calendar, it won't happen. So scheduling things in my calendar. So like I used to not schedule lunch breaks, and they would not happen because they weren't in the calendar.
That's right.
And I also wouldn't schedule meetings with myself. I'm the whole team, so I got to schedule meetings with me so we can take care of things. But my grandmother, she has said, she taught me that, one, your time is your time, and whatever that looks like and how you spend it, it's your time. Because
Mm-hmm.
the people pleaser in me, that thank God he's been helping me get delivered from, the people and pleaser in me would be like, well, I'm laying down, so I'm not necessarily busy. But now it's like, no, this is a part of my routine. I need this sleep, because even if I do show up to something, or I do agree to something, you're not going to get the best me. So let me just do us a favor, and let me just handle my schedule the way it needs to be handled. Schedule that rest time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Everything is on my schedule, from lunch, dinner, breakfast,
Mm.
groceries,
Oh
my
wow.
naps. Yep.
Yeah.
But last week when I got to Texas, baby, I took a nap every single day. Do you hear me?
Because naps are important for my schedule. When I take me a good nap during the day. I take me a nap, and once I take that nap, I be ready to go. Like, okay, I can keep going throughout this day. But if I don't take the nap, sometimes I'm no good. I just need to take my little 20, 30, 40 hour nap.
Yeah, take it because you deserve it. You're a human being, not a human doing.
Yeah.
And even I'm speaking to myself. I even have to get back to the place of doing more being.
Yeah.
Because I have a wonderful morning routine, but lately, when I'm very tired mentally,
Yes. Hmm.
because here in Houston, I'm going to see lots of clients. I'm out, I'm networking,
Yeah.
because it's warm and I have my car, so it's a lot
Right.
easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but I'm not used to actually leaving the house every single day.
Same.
So for me, it's like very, very tiring. Like, I'm like, why am
Yeah.
I so tired? It's like, because
Yeah.
you're getting up, you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I even have to be like, I can't even enjoy my morning routine lately
Yes.
because
Hmm.
my mind is tired.
Yes.
So now I'm just like, when I get back to New York, I'm just gonna veg out.
Yeah. Yeah, same here with my morning routine. I've been trying to get it back to where it was, because like I do have a beautiful morning routine. And it's my natural routine, but because I've been so tired, I've been sleeping past. Like, because I like to wake up early and get stuff done. I like to read in the
Yeah.
morning.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've been getting up late, it's like it cuts in between my reading time and just getting myself prepared for the day.
Yes.
And my body was telling me, like, Ash, you're tired, so you have to get this rest. But don't shy away from it. Just understand, in this moment, you just need to rest a little bit more.
Yes, 100%. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I know we'll tend to feel guilty, but it's like we have to get away from that. Like, I love this. I follow a couple people that talk about rest as revolution, especially for Black
Mm.
women,
Mm-hmm.
because, historically, if you're African American, I should say, our ancestors were the nannies, we were the
Yeah.
housekeepers.
Right.
Like, our ancestors didn't have the privilege or the luxury to rest. And
Yeah.
now, like, we're like their wildest dreams, right? Like, they probably
Mm.
couldn't even imagine quitting their job and starting a business,
Yeah. Yeah.
or, just taking a nap in the middle of the day because they felt like we have a lot of privilege that we may
Yes.
not realize.
Mm-hmm.
So, I truth be told, my white friends taught me how to rest, baby. Let me tell you. I'm not I ain't learning from no Black person. No, because they, it's like go, go,
Yeah.
go, hustle, hustle, hustle. I
Yeah.
don't hustle. I was like, I am wealth. I do not hustle.
Yeah. And like I said at the
I don't do
beginning,
it.
that's what God has been showing me, that
Mm-hmm.
in the kingdom, we're not hustling. Like you said, I'm gonna just take
No.
what you said, the wealth. We're not hustling. We're learning how to walk in wealth. Having
Yep.
even a lot of my books that I've been studying lately
Mm-hmm.
is, how to have a wealthy mind.
Yes.
Some of them, one book I'm reading is called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And
Yes, that's a good
honestly,
book.
his book has just been helping me learn to train my mind to think differently. Like, for instance, his book showed me how to stop seeing problems as big, but how to find big solutions. The
Mm-hmm.
problem, if you choose to allow it to be big, is big. But if you choose to create a solution for the problem, you can make it, make that solution bigger. And he also, another thing he had me thinking, is that I'm gonna say what he said: poor people, they see obstacles, but wealthy people see opportunities. And
Yep.
it to me, it just confirmed who I've always been, because I always see the opportunity in something. I'm like, well, I can maximize this situation. Like even the famine that I experienced, it was like, oh, I'm about to maximize this because I really know how my customers feel. And guess what? I'm gonna put together a whole package on this is what I did to not experience this. Cause I know what you feel, sister or brother. I felt it too. But like to me, that's an opportunity. Like, how can I
Yep.
flip this situation to minister the situation and also to add value to my experience? I think the last real question I want to ask you is about value. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember telling you in the past that I had struggled with pricing out my services because I would pretty much lowball myself
Mm-hmm.
because I just felt bad. So from your perspective, if you could say something to the people about knowing their value as far as exchanging of services and just knowing their value, what would you say? It's kind of an open-ended question.
Yeah, no problem. So I know that, especially for women, not so much men,
Mhm.
according to studies,
Yeah.
because we have like a heart to give, a heart to serve, especially Christians,
Yeah.
we don't always charge our value, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, what I've learned over the years is that you will attract who you are.
So good.
So if let's just say you have a $5,000 package, right?
Mhm.
Are you willing to pay $5,000 for something?
Mm.
So also you have to up level how you perceive yourself, and if you're willing
Mm.
to invest at yourself, because whenever you hire a coach, you're investing in yourself, right? Are you
Yes.
willing to invest in yourself at the level that you know you deserve? And then now, once you become that person, you can attract the people who are willing to invest in themselves at that level.
Mm.
So, I've not always been here, but I finally got there, and I had someone to ask me. So, I launched the program. I had an introductory special for X amount of time.
Mhm.
They're gonna ask me, can they get the special after the fact?
No.
I'm like, I was just like, this is the price. I
Yeah.
quoted what the price is now.
Yeah.
Now you can take it or leave it, but at the end of the day, if you don't do something different, you're still going to be in the same predicament, and you have to decide whether this the difference between the two, if it's worth it to you or not. if it's not worth it to you, then you don't really want to change,
Yeah.
and you don't really want the service. And I did
Yeah.
not feel any type of way about it, because
Yeah.
you don't walk into Macy's, you don't walk into Nordstrom's or
Thank
wherever it is that you shop, and you
thank
don't
you.
ask for a discount. So
Thank you.
you want me and my family to suffer.
Yes.
Why? Because
Mm-hmm.
you don't go into the grocery store. They may have a coupon, and I did
Thank
indeed
you
have
very
a
much.
discount at a
Yes.
certain time, but you
Yeah.
chose not to take advantage of it at that
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
So anyway, to answer your question in terms of value, obviously you have to do your market research and find out,
Right.
what the price is in your area, like, to be
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah.
And of course you can run specials, but you never want to cheat yourself out of your true value, because
Yes.
you want to attract the people who are just like, okay, where do I sign? That's what you need. Like, all this other stuff, because I'm speaking from experience and lots of frustration and lots of, like, is this my life now?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, keep going.
Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up there, but that's my opinion. Like, charge what needs to be charged,
Yeah.
and what you can do. For me, I wrote what I did, because some people cannot afford it. I wrote a
Mm-hmm.
book. You can
Mm-hmm.
afford this $25 book. It will give you some lessons on, but if you cannot afford to pay for me for coaching, I'm sorry, but, like, when you become self-employed, if you don't have a steady paycheck, you are not going to feel good. Let me tell you. Let's just say you have no other income but your business. If you're charging $50 an hour and you put in a lot of work, say you
Yep.
do a 10-hour project and you
Yep.
only get $500, you are not
Yep.
going to feel good about that. I can guarantee you that right now.
Oh, I can guarantee you that right now because I experienced it. I told somebody, I said, only being able to get money from my business made me realize I'm done with favors. Like, favors, that's cute, but first of all, they don't pay bills. They do not help me get to my financial goals. It's not helping anybody at all. I told somebody this morning, I said, it's basically like I've been giving you free services because you're getting so much out of me and you're
Mm-hmm.
not paying for the value that's in me. And I love what you said, Mia. Oh my goodness. It's like you're saying exactly what I've been experiencing. I was sharing with someone today about I finally know who my clients are. God showed me without vision, you really don't know where you're going. And so thankfully, God gave me vision on where is my company headed? Where is my brand headed? Where are we going? And when he gave me the vision, it was like everything after that, it just needed strategy. Literally, I just needed strategy, implement it to work around the vision, and it became so easy to start planning out what I'm doing. So I told someone in a conversation that I said, yeah, I found my clients. Like, I know who my clients are, and I told them my clients are businesses. I know who I'm supposed to help. Businesses, primarily, I'm noticing women are a great deal of my clientele, and also African Americans, but it doesn't limit it to them. But like, business owners are
Yep.
my clients. Why? Because they understand the value of what I'm bringing. And
Yep.
like the person I was talking to today, he literally said, he asked himself a question. He said, can I afford the services? And then he came to the conclusion, I can't afford not to do work with you because of the value that you bring that I'm missing. And I want my clients to understand you're not paying for Ashley, you're paying for the value invested in yourself. I'm just
Yep.
bringing it out of you. And so he had asked me, he was like, do you think you're going to lose clients? I said, yeah, the ones that are not mine, the ones that okay,
Yep.
so I don't want to like go too long-winded with this, but like this was so important for me to grasp. When you understand who your client is, it makes it so much easier, and it eliminates a lot of those conversations. Like, all of my business owner clients, I tell them, we have a conversation. They ask me, they tell me what services they need. I tell them this is the price. Send me the invoice. I love a good send me the invoice.
Send me the invoice. That's all you need. That is your client. Don't feel bad about it. You can refer out to somebody else if
Mm-hmm.
you need to, but if you're not telling me to send you the invoice, there's nothing else for us to discuss. And it's no shade. It's just, we have to stop expecting the discount
Yes.
because I'm like, this is why businesses don't survive, because they
Yeah.
don't make enough revenue and they don't make
Yeah.
enough cash flow.
Yeah.
So you're not never going to survive if people are nickel and diming you.
Exactly.
I just worked with somebody, and when she told me she doesn't, I'm not even gonna get into that. I
Okay.
was like, okay, first of all, I was like, I, I know you, so what I'm gonna tell you is that you need to have a credit card on file. I said,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't even let this happen. Like, no, this is not okay. I was like, I was upset for her
Yeah.
because when she told me what she told me, I was like, that is like unacceptable.
Yeah, yeah. The sad truth is when you become a business owner, a part of understanding your systems and strategies is also experiencing problems where you have to implement strategies. Like, initially when I got into business, I wouldn't ask people to pay like upfront. Like if I do the service, I see where I was doing it wrong. And this for any videographer or photographer. You do not give them the work before they pay you.
Amen.
They pay you and then you provide them the service, because I was allowing myself to do the work. And then I had people who are not either. First of all, one person, I did a whole job for this man, and um he decided that he no longer wanted to work with me due to some other things, time commitments. I couldn't commit to the time he needed. But I did a whole job for him and he never paid me for the job. And I thought literally of the example, he couldn't go to the store and walk out with the shoes. That's stealing. And so he in a sense,
He stole.
he
He
stole my
did.
services.
He
And
did.
it when I say it upset me, it was like the least you could do is just pay and then leave. We don't have to talk again. But then I had another client who took almost 2 months to pay me. And I was like, oh, heck no. I had already did the work. No, 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 no. I understand my own worth and value. You can pay me up front or on the day that we do whatever we're doing, but you're not getting no service from me unless there is some money invested. And something else you said, I really love how you said, you asked the question, if the price is $5,000, would you pay the $5,000? And something that God had to do was make me elevate my mind and who I want to work with. So like the old Ashley would have never, hired you to be my business coach or my financial coach, because I would have thought to myself, well, I can figure it out, or that's too much money. But then when I understood you were giving me knowledge that literally I was investing in your services and it was helping me build more money. It was an investment that was giving me a return. And just like you said with coaches, like hiring a coach actually can help you and strengthen your business, because you're investing in their knowledge and their experience
Mm-hmm.
that they have over all of these years, and they're helping pour that into you. And I think that we have to get out of the mindset of just wanting everything to be handed to us, when we're
Mm-hmm.
willing to invest in the value of clothes, shoes, merchandise, but we're not willing to invest in the value of your friend, your sister. I had somebody send me a text message today that made me respect them. It's one of my god sisters. She asked me to do a service for her, and honestly, I was giving her the house discount just because, like we close. Like it was just, I really just wanted to help her, and she checked me. And she said, how much do you actually charge for this? And I told her the real price. And she said, oh, I owe you some money. She said, I thank you for doing a service as, as a part of us being, very close, but I got to respect you as a business woman. I got to respect the
Yeah.
value that you offer. And so let me pay that real price. And I kind of needed that, because I'm like, you're
Yep.
right. Because I'm done with these little freebies y'all been trying to get off your girl.
Yeah. My cousin taught me that. When I was doing my essential oils business,
Mm-hmm.
and his son was getting bitten up by mosquitoes. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna make him some bug repellent.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, how much is it? I was like, you my cousin. He was like, no, this is your bit. So that is such an important lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Is and my sister is the same way. My sister is a hairstylist. If my sister do my hair, I gotta pay her.
Exactly. That's how I am. My best friend, she does hair and she does makeup, and I tell her, I'm not coming to you. I will do my hair until I can pay you, because I want to respect you as a business. I can't walk into any other business and just expect them to give me handouts or freebies. Like, no, this is a business. Let me invest in you. And I also feel like, that investment in somebody is, to me, showing I do believe in you, because I'm willing to invest in what's in you instead of just robbing you of the gifts and talents that you have. So at the end of every episode, I always ask every person the same question, unless the Holy Spirit changes it. But my question for you is, if you could give a message to your younger self, what would it be and why?
Ooh, now that's a deep question. Wow. If I could give a message to my younger self. Okay, yes. If I could give a message to my younger self, I would tell myself to, number one, love me. And that I am enough.
Yes.
I am enough. And I would tell myself to invest more and just like stack more cash.
Yeah.
Like, because number one, you got to know who you are. You got to know whose you are.
Yeah.
Right? And to really, really, truly depend on God.
Yeah.
I had an abusive parent who just spewed negativity into me. And so it took me a long time to learn how to love myself and value myself.
Yeah.
And because of that, because I lived in fear and because I always like sought approval and everything, I know I limited myself. So I would tell myself like, hey, none of this really matters. Go forth in your dreams, press on towards the mark of a high calling. But all that stuff is a lie. Yeah.
Wow. Also, how can the people find you so I know you just came out with a book to help people out.
Oh, yeah.
But you do a lot of stuff. So if people wanted to find you, what resources or just services do you offer? And then also, where can they find you on social media?
Absolutely. So I'm going to put it in the chat and then maybe you can do the banner thing.
I got you.
So if you go to beyondthebusyness.com, and I'll put it in the chat so we can pin it up. There we go. So you can, on beyondthebusyness.com, you can find my book, which is pre-order right now. So it is coming out really soon. It's literally about to go to be printed. So in my book, I do 10 mini lessons on money, everything from goals and dreams and cash flow all the way to estate planning. So debt, all of that is in the book. It's called Think, Learn, and Feel Rich. Also on that page, you can also schedule a complimentary financial self-care call. And we can talk about whatever you want related to finances. And even if it's not my area of expertise, I partner with other financial professionals.
Yes.
And I will get you the help that you need. So that's how you can find me. So I specialize in cash flow management, debt elimination, insurance, retirement planning, and then referrals for like taxes and estate planning and things of that nature, credit repair, all of that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get back with you very soon.
Okay, yeah,
definitely.
Get some light back. It's very dark in here.
Yeah, we have to have our sessions because it's so funny because we were meeting every week that when we stopped meeting, it was like something is missing. I miss Mia. I miss talking.
Yeah, I love talking to you. You are like pure joy.
I try. But I do want to thank you for coming on here to just join me in the conversation. I would love to have you back because we didn't even get into some of the other stuff I wanted to talk about. But just being able to sit with you and just talk about, what it looks like for entrepreneurs, how to build that confidence, and also what it looks like to understand stewardship, biblical principles, and how it mixed with finances and money. But I truly want to say thank you for joining me on today. And I pray that other people were blessed as I have been blessed.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, sis. I'll talk to you soon.
I will talk to you soon. And guys, that is all for tonight's episode. I can't wait till the series releases. So with that, I will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.